Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is a weekly love reading for all signs. I have laid out a spread, and so let's go straight to the bottom of the deck, and we have got Page of Wands, a good news message. Pages are always messages, Page of Wands is good news. I'm going to take the top card to go with that, and we have got Justice. Have you been waiting for a message from someone? If you have, or if you feel like you're owed a message, then I would suggest that that is going to be coming through this week, potentially. Justice is the Libra card. It's also the card of balance, fairness, equality. Wands are fire signs, so you could be dealing with a fire sign, a lot younger, or you could be dealing with a Libra, I suppose. I'm just going to look at the bottom of the deck again now. Okay, so now at the bottom we've got the Nine of Pentacles. This is the card of being absolutely fine on your own. This is the card of having everything you want and need, being financially stable, not being reliant on anybody, self-sufficient and happy. So, what is that meaning? Well, there could be something legal going on here, but this is a love reading. So if you've been struggling with some sort of legal situation to do with love, possibly divorce or financial separation or something like that, then this is boding very well for you, because we've got good news and the card of being financially stable on your own. If you've had to separate from somebody and maybe you've had a period of not feeling great about it, great news, you're going to be fine on your own. And if you're not feeling that yet, you soon will be. I think we'll find out what Justice is about as we go on. The centre of the reading, we have Six of Swords. You are moving from something difficult towards something a lot better. Going from choppy waters to calm seas, if you like. There is some sort of assistance here. You're being moved forward in a better direction, or you should be. But what is crossing that is the King of Wands. So we've got quite a lot of fiery energy out here so far. Wands are weeks. The King of Wands is the dynamic king, the go-getting king, if you like. He's the king who gets things done. Now that is crossing your progress. So your progress into a better situation is being hindered or held back by a masculine fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Why though? Why is your progress being held back? Perhaps you've been waiting to hear from an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That could really be a thing. And if you have been, well, this looks like the week when you might be hearing from them. So that would be great news, because that will stop the King of Wands in that case will stop being a hindrance and will start to make connection again, possibly. On the face of things, we have got the card of confusion, options, sort of what I want to say cloudy thinking, really. Now, these two cards I would say are in opposition to one another. So on the one hand, there are options and or confusion that you're not enjoying. On the other hand, you're coming into your very best energy. So something here is not quite adding up. So let's get a clarifier for the Seven of Cups. Okay, well, to clarify the Seven of Cups, we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is the card of rest and recovery. It can be recovery after heartbreak. So if you have come out of a relationship or a marriage even, and you've got options that you're not sure about, then this is talking about the fact that you are going to be gaining some clarity. The swords are the cards of clarity, truth, honesty. So if everything's felt a little bit woolly, like you're not quite sure you're in your best energy yet, you're not quite sure which option to take, which road to travel, how to progress, then I think you're going to be recovering from that. This feels to me like an energy that you are moving out of, because don't forget, we have the card of moving into a better situation. So you're going to be moving away from this feeling of confusion and or of having too many options into a feeling of being well, I wanted to say calm then, but it's better than being calm, being comfortable with yourself and your situation. So feels like there's been some sort of healing period that has been going on that is allowing you to feel a lot better moving forward. And I'm really pleased to hear that. In the underneath position, what is not clear or not obvious to everybody is that we have the Hanged Man. This is a period of waiting. The Hanged Man is upside down to gain a different perspective on life. And he is gaining enlightenment. You can see that with the yellow haze around his head. That's the gaining of enlightenment. I took 2 other cards to go with him, and we have the 2 of Wands. This is the card of possibilities. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So you really are planning or wanting to plan to move forward. It's not clear to everybody about this. Maybe you're not displaying it for other people. Perhaps you're not talking about it. I think you're probably trying to come up with a plan. And the plan is to find some better options. And I think that's because the obvious options are not working for you. So your plan is to find some other options. And it feels like that's going to be brought to you. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a wheel. It'll keep rolling until it delivers you the good fortune that you're due. So I think you've been trying to work out how to get yourself into this wonderful, stable, comfortable, secure energy that you inhabit on your own. And I think you are going to be doing that. There is an element of good fortune coming your way. We have the Page of Wands, don't forget. This is a message of good news. And I think there is something here to do with you receiving some good news. What about? Well, this is a love reading. So if you're receiving good news, it's either that you're fine on your own now if you're not looking for another partner, or it is that what you've been trying to do to steer yourself forward, to move yourself on from the not very exciting options that you've got in front of you, that is going to improve. So if you've been dating or you're wanting to date and really doesn't feel like the pool of options is right for you or good enough for you, then I think you're going to get a bit of a boost in that regard. It's possible that somebody's going to get in touch with you out of the blue. It is possible that that person could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or a Libra. So something is happening in the hidden position. This is not what other people can see or know about, but you are going to be delivered an element of good fortune. It's coming your way, and it's got something to do with the fact that you have been able to broaden your horizons and view things in a slightly different way, I would say. In the past, you may have been dealing with a Capricorn, and if that's the case, this is a past energy. Or you may really just have been leaving some sort of demon behind. Perhaps it was a negative relationship that wasn't good for you. Perhaps it was something that was just a physical relationship that wasn't going to sustain you. Or potentially something actually that wasn't good for you. The devil, it can be obsession, it can be oppression. So you're leaving an obsessive and or oppressive energy in the past, which is great. Or you're leaving a Capricorn in the past. Wow, 3 cards have just fallen out. Oh my goodness. Ooh, right. Well, I was going to shuffle and take some cards to clarify the devil here. Well, this is in the past position. And the 3 cards that have come out to clarify, the Happy Ever After family card, the 2 of Cups True Connection card, and the Ace of Wands, which is dynamic energy and force. It is the ability to do things, the ability to get in touch, perhaps. But this is all in the past position. So what it feels like is that if you were dealing with a Capricorn in the past, it may well have felt that you had found your person, that you had a great connection, that you could see a future with them. It may have felt that you were the only one who viewed it this way, is what I want to say. I wanted to say you were doing the heavy lifting. It feels to me like, although these were the possibilities that you could see, it feels like that potentially the Capricorn did not view things that way round, perhaps. I think you thought you had a real future and that you had found your person, and that the dynamic energy and force was going to bring you two together into the future. Sadly, what I think has happened is there was not enough dynamic energy and force to bring things forward, because either the relationship was not good or not good enough for you, or the Capricorn was not interested in taking it forward in the way that you wanted. So really interesting. In the past, it felt like you had your person. Now, if you're looking at this video thinking that is not my past at all, what does it talk about then? Well, it could talk about the fact that you were trying very hard to make a relationship work for you, to try and take something that was not necessarily good for you or right for you forward. And I think you were held back. I think there was not enough dynamic energy and force to move it forward. And that, in that case, that would be a good thing. I think if it felt like you were in a great situation, but the other person did not allow it to develop, then I think that's a shame, but there's probably a reason why. I think if all the heavy lifting was being done by you, then ultimately it was not going to make the relationship safe and on a sound footing for the future. So I think regardless of why the obsessive, oppressive energy is in the past, I think regardless of why, I think it is a good thing that that situation is in the past, because there was a reason why it could not progress the way you wanted. It could be down to a Capricorn, it could be down to a Libra, it could be down to an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. In the future situation, we have the Emperor. So if you are a masculine watching, you are coming into your very, very best energy. If you are a feminine watching, it could be that you're dealing with an Aries, or it could be that you're dealing with a very proud individual. Wow, that's interesting. So if you were dealing with somebody in the past who did not allow this to develop the way it should have due to pride, then perhaps that is changing in the future, because we have the Emperor in the future position. Let's take a clarifier for the Emperor. Wow. Well, we have Judgment. Very definitely wanted to come out there. Judgment is a wake-up call. So it's potentially the masculine that you have been dealing with. If he was full of pride, he has been given a wake-up call, and potentially you are going to hear from him, because we now have two messages coming in here. Judgment is shouting at him, and you are receiving good news. So potentially you could be hearing from a proud individual, a proud masculine to be more precise. Judgment is the card of reawakening, really. It can be a lot of other things, and it can just be a loud shout. Come on, wake up to the fact that you need to do something about this. But it's reawakening, it's reimagining, it's reissuing, it's re-emerging. And it's generally to do with a resurrection of some type. So maybe if you have left somebody in the past that you've been trying to get over, maybe there's going to be a resurgence of that relationship going forward. I think particularly if you've got an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or a particularly proud individual, they're being shouted at to do something. In the personal position, we've got the Two of Pentacles. This is the 2-year card. You might have been waiting for a really long time for this individual to get in touch. You could have been waiting for 2 years. This is also the card of weighing up your options. And don't forget, at the start we had options here which you weren't happy with. So the obvious options you've not been keen on, and the unobvious options you're not sure about. It feels like you've been waiting for quite a long time for some sort of sign or signal or progress to be made. Yeah. In the home position, we have the Three of Wands. This is the card of waiting for your ships to come in. So these two cards really are very similar. We're working together here. In a personal way, you've been weighing up your options, possibly for 2 years. In a home environment, you're waiting. You're waiting for something to change. So let's get a clarifier for those two cards. I think I'm going to read them together. What is changing? What do you want to change? Well, 3 cards have fallen out here. We have the Hierophant, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Lovers. Okay, so let's read these together. If you have been waiting for 2 years to hear from somebody and they have not appeared yet, you're waiting to make changes. You've been waiting to hear from them. They've not appeared possibly because they can't make it work. The Hierophant is the establishment, if you like. So maybe they can't make it work with their religion. Perhaps it won't work with the environment they live in. Perhaps it can't work with their family. It's that sort of feeling. And the Lovers. This is another wake-up call. This is another angel. So we now have 2 angels trying to guide this situation forward, and it's not happening. You know, these are big cards. It feels to me like there is some angelic guidance going on that really, really wants to bring this connection back. Feels like it needs to. Now, why does it need to come back? Well, let's have a think about this. Why does it need to come back? Because it's been 2 years, because you're not sure how to move forward, because you're not liking the other options. But this is the crux of the matter here. There is some sort of establishment that is going against the guidance that you have received. Don't forget, in the past, you were the one doing the heavy lifting. You knew what you wanted to do, and your person couldn't make it work. And are they still in the same position now that they can't make it work? Well, potentially, but don't forget, we have got a message of good news at the start. So something is shifting here. They're being pressurized, really. They're receiving quite a lot of pressure, I think, particularly if they are a proud masculine. That proud masculine is being guided forward in a strong way. In the hopes and fears position, well, if you're fearing he's never going to make up his mind, I can understand that, because the King of Cups is the king who doesn't know how he feels classically. If you're hoping for a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio masculine, then he could very well be coming in. So if your masculine is a water sign, that would be good news. Wow, the Tower. So it feels like, and this absolutely flew out just then, you're hoping for the King of Cups, but you're fearing a disaster, or you're fearing that it is fully over. Well, it could be. Or you're fearing that if he has made up his mind, then it's going to present a problem. Well, it could be any of that, because don't forget, we've just been talking about the fact that there is some sort of problem with the established way of living for this proud masculine, or even for yourself, because this was clarifying the personal and the home position. So it is possible that you feel like there isn't a way to make it work. I wonder, yeah. I think perhaps that could be it, you know, that he's been guided to bring it together. You're being guided to bring it together. But I don't think either of you can think of a way to make it work that is not going to have some monumental fallout. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And so the situation is stuck. For now. I'm going to say the situation is stuck for now, because don't forget, we started with a message of good news. At the outcome, we have the Five of Swords. This is a battle. And then we have the Six of Cups. This is the Soulmate card. This is the card that talks about connections from the past. This is a card of nostalgia. It can talk about children, or people you've known for a really long time, or people you've known in childhood, something like that. So the problem here could be to do with children. It could be to do with trying to integrate another person into your family. Or it could just be talking about the fact that you've known this person for a long time. Sometimes read the Five of Swords as a 3 and a 2, in which case it's choosing heartbreak. But don't forget, we had here the card of recovering from heartbreak. So if one of you chose to break up this connection because you couldn't see a way of making it work, then I think the feelings of sadness that have come along with that will have gone or will be going. So if you were in a relationship or some sort of connection with somebody that you could not be with in a way that would make everybody happy, then I wonder if there was a separation. It couldn't be in the past. We had the devil here, particularly if it was a Capricorn, it couldn't be made to work. Moving forward, we still don't know if we can make it work. We're still stuck. And the outcome is the Five of Swords and the Six of Cups. I mean, this literally says it was too difficult to make this connection work. Let's see what else we can find out. Because if we've got a message of good news, what is that regarding? A new start, a new home. A new home after a period of reflection and working on yourself, perhaps. And don't forget, we had the Hanged Man down here. Been reflecting long and hard over what to do. And the Wheel of Fortune is going to reward you. Okay, so this is quite interesting. The Wheel of Fortune is going to reward you either with a large sum of money, a new home, or an engagement after a period alone. Great. It feels to me like there could be a reconnection with somebody from your past. Somebody who has been possibly a proud individual who has been minded to get back in touch with you. That's one way of reading these cards. And you have some sort of link with childhood here. I don't think it's been easy. I think it's been a struggle to get to this point. I think you've spent quite a lot of time on your own trying to work out what to do. You've been working it out quietly behind the scenes. You've been trying to seek other options, but the other options really haven't been what you've wanted. Yes, you've recovered from heartbreak. Yes, you're coming into your best energy. And yes, there is a proud masculine who is now woken up to the fact that he should be doing something. You know, we had the Libra card here. This was talking about equality and justice. You've both had a wake up. You've both been guided to bring this connection back. You've been weighing it up for a long time. You've been waiting. What do you do? Well, you've been doing nothing because you've been stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing if the masculine knows how he feels, not knowing how to mitigate some sort of disaster if the two of you get together because it goes against the established way of living. And yet, in the past, it felt like a really strong connection. It felt like you could have a future together. But it was not easy to make work. It either was difficult or there was some sort of obsession or oppression going on in the past, which left you with nowhere to go. You should be moving into a much happier way of life. You should be moving forward into smoother waters. But there is a masculine here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, who's blocking your path. Well, don't forget, we started with good news. We have the Wheel of Fortune working for us. And now at the outcome, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a windfall, an engagement, or a new home. So it feels like it's a situation that is improving. It still feels like you're not quite there yet. It also feels like you might have been reliant on somebody else to make the progress. I think really if that's the case, we need to really focus on the fact that this is you. This is you and your best energy moving forward, regardless of whether you're still waiting to hear from somebody or not, regardless of what the good news is. This is where the focus needs to be. And the focus needs to be on you and feeling good about life and love yourself. Well, I really hope so. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you'd like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.